Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Heather Tiedemann. I am a local realtor down here in the beautiful area of Lexington, South Carolina. My partner in crime is not here with me today. He is currently working in his office, so it's just me today. Today we are going to talk about surprises that you may find when you move to Lexington. These are things that people may not think about, or they do think about, and I'm just going to bring them to light. I work with a lot of out-of-state clients, so I tend to hear a lot of things they are surprised about when moving here. Number one is our lack of basement homes. A lot of people love their basement homes. They come from an area where those are very common. They help with storage, they give them extra space, and it's something that they really enjoy having. Unfortunately, here our water table is too high, so we generally do not have a lot of basement homes. And if we do have a basement home, it's not your traditional basement home. It is a walkout basement. A walkout basement essentially means the home was built on a slope. So the front of your home would be like your normal home, and then it kind of slopes down in the back. So it's not really an underground basement like you would traditionally see. These would just be built on a incline, and then you could walk out of your basement and into your backyard. So that's something that a lot of people did not realize moving here, and probably like my number one thing I hear is people come here and they want to find a home with a basement, but those are not readily available. Maybe one in every 20-30 homes I see has a basement. And even that's kind of pushing it. It's not something that is commonly seen here. However, you can have a custom built home that would allow for a basement if that is like truly something that you want, but the land would have to allow for that, if that makes sense. Number two, car taxes. These are not something that a lot of states have, but they're not completely uncommon. But a lot of people don't realize that we pay taxes on our cars every year. And that can range. I can't really tell you how much they're going to be because it truly is based on your car. However, you can go online and just type in like property tax estimator in your county, and you're able to get somewhat of an estimation for that. When you first come here, in order to register your cars here, there's like a whole laundry list of things you would have to do. First, you would need to go get your tax bill. Then you would need to pay your tax bill, and then you take your receipt from paying your tax bill over to the DMV, and they will charge you, don't quote me on this, I think it's $250 per vehicle, but I'm not 100% sure on that, to register it here. So something to keep in mind, that it could get quite pricey. I've seen some of my clients having to pay $1,500 to have your cars registered after taxes and everything. So it's something to keep in mind when moving here. And we do pay those yearly. You don't have like the initial upfront costs like you do, but you will pay a smaller amount yearly. I have a 2018 Mazda CX-5. I pay 200 and something a year for the property taxes on that. Also, if you have a hybrid or an electric car, you will also pay an additional tax on that. Currently, I have a hybrid. I have a Ford C-Max. So every other year I pay $60 because it is a hybrid. If you have a fully electric car, every other year you would pay $120. Subject to change, but that is something to keep in mind when you're moving here. Number three, our infrastructure. Lexington is one of the fastest growing cities in the state. And because of that, a lot of people are moving here. A lot of people love it here, but it has not kept up with the infrastructure. So a lot of people do kind of see those windfalls where, maybe the roads aren't ready for all the traffic that they have. So it does, sometimes back it up. And they are working on fixing that, especially on 20. 20's been working on itself for, a while now. And it's going to continue to work on itself, essentially. So hopefully we will eventually have the infrastructure we need, but is definitely not there as it stands right now. Number 4, the humidity. This is something you've heard, and a lot of people know about this. I've spoken on it before, just like I've spoken on a couple other things in this video before, but it still tends to take some people by surprise, because here in Lexington, we do not have the breeze of the ocean or the mountains like in the upstate. We are, the air is kind of stagnant here. So during our spring and summer, it does get very, very humid and very, very hot. Most people don't seem to mind it as long as they're not outside for long periods of time. But if you are an outdoorsy person, or you have a job that requires you to work outdoors for long periods of time over the spring and summer, that may be something you want to take into consideration. You definitely want to be drinking your water. You definitely want to be taking breaks and cooling down, because it does get very hot and very humid. We do have breezes here. I don't want to say we don't, but they're not going to be as commonplace as you would see near the ocean or in the mountains. Our fall and winter, it is very nice out. The humidity is not nearly as bad, or you don't notice it as much, simply because it's not as hot. And we do tend to have more breeze in the fall and winter months. Lastly, we'll talk about our sewers. A lot of people come from areas that their sewer is included in their property taxes, or they have septics. Now, we do have septics here. That's not completely uncommon, but not so much in Lexington. We do have some homes, but those are not going to be ones that you typically find in a neighborhood. Those are going to be in the more rural parts or on larger plots of land versus being in a neighborhood. So you generally, lots of different companies, depending on where you live, will depend on who is your sewer company. Sometimes it's down in Lexington, sometimes it's Blue Granite. There's a bunch of different ones. But that is something that you do pay. And like when you're watering your grass and things, they do not take that into account. What they're doing is kind of looking at your water usage and comparing it to your sewer usage. Now, where I live, they're two separate companies, so I kind of just pay a flat rate for my sewer, but that's not the case for everybody. It really does vary company to company. So keep that in mind. If you do have a sewer company that is connected to your water company, oftentimes they're looking at your water usage and just, putting that as your sewer number. So if you're watering your grass and things like that, that is going towards your sewer usage, even though it's not technically going in the sewer. That's something to keep in mind. So those are 5 surprises that a lot of my clients see when they come here. Something to keep in mind when you are moving here. Drop a comment below if, you've moved here, you're wondering, you had your own surprise, or if you are moving here and there's something that you are concerned about, and I'm happy to address those for you. Also, if you like content like this and would like to see more, please like, comment, and share the video. I'd really appreciate that. I would also really appreciate it if you subscribe. Shameless plug, but those are just something to keep in mind, and I look forward to seeing you later. Also, down in my bio is a link to our Moving to Lexington, South Carolina Facebook group, which has tons and tons and tons of great information, great conversations, things to check out, and help make your journey here a lot smoother. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye.